just jello inside. And so the love he had for all of you, I don't know that any of us would ever know. And we experienced this in Napa where we were like, he would never know the love that all of you had for him. And that's kind of the saddest part. But those are not my remarks. What I want to say is, I hate the reason that we're here, but I'm grateful that so many people, the opportunity to see so many people, friends and family that I haven't seen in far too long. And dying was the biggest asshole move my brother ever made. Yeah. And he made a lot of them, right? Not cool, dude. So, but it's good that we are all here together to celebrate him. It's both amazing and surreal to be here. It's amazing that so many of you are here, like I said before, from all across the country. And I think Paul would get a kick out of knowing so many people are gathered here in Hammondsport to celebrate him. Because Hammondsport was a huge part of his identity and mine. And we talked about growing up here all the time, and I'm sure that's why John and Julie and Dwayne from California came with Paul's wife, Tony, because they just have to see the place that they heard so many stories about. And poor Tony and my husband, Michael, sat through countless hours of us, Paul and I, regaling them with stories of the people and the shenanigans of Hammondsport. I think they could actually sing along to Ode to Beakerman by now. If you know, you know. But I'm not going to sing it because it's not appropriate. And it's surreal to be here with all of you at the scene of the crime. And it's even more surreal because he's not here. He should be here standing next to me with his arm draped around my shoulder, giggling at all the stuff that we all did here. And I personally am struggling with what to do with a Paul-sized hole in the world. Paul was my big brother. He was I refer to him as my baked-in person. He was my confidant, my partner in crime, my great defender, my memory sharer. And my earliest memory of my whole life is standing on the steps of the porch in Wellsville, Paul's arm draped over my shoulder as we watched the water rise in the flood of 1972. All together now. And I remember sitting next to him on the stairs to the basement on a Christmas morning, and I was crying because we couldn't go to Uncle Dave's house until the next day because there was a snowstorm, which I, of course, blamed on my parents. And he consoled me, and he agreed that it was our parents' fault. And that was the day that we actually made our pact to always have each other's backs. I know that pact, Billy. I remember sitting next to him on the stairs of Aunt Renee's house on a New Year's Eve, maybe 1980, when we had a power outage from a storm, and I was so stressed because my dad left, and maybe with Uncle Mike and Cousin Brian, because Aunt Carol got stuck in the snow. Power outage, Dad's leaving, I'm super stressed out because what if New Year's happens and the ball drops and the power doesn't come back on, and he's not back in time when all of us were encouraged to drink from the Jeroboam of champagne and eat creamed herring from a jar. Yeah. So he told me it's going to be fine, and it was. Paul and I were always at each other's side our whole lives. He was always there, and he should still be here. And we lost Paul in October. In November, Tony's family hosted a beautiful celebration of life, and Michael and I were blown away by that event. Not only because it was breathtakingly beautiful at the Napa Valley Country Club, but because it's always like surprising to see a family member through somebody else's eyes. I mean, he was my brother. Like Uncle Mike said, he was kind of annoying. He was funny. He was opinionated. He was helpful. He was infuriating. But in Napa, we learned about a whole different Paul. He was, of course, all those things. And he was also a public servant. He was a board member. He was the vice president of a payroll company, a respected colleague, a business owner, and a cherished friend. It was awesome to hear his friends and his colleagues share stories about how he helped them, how he believed in them, and how much his over 30 years of public service in Napa meant so much to the community. So naturally, I told them about how he cut all my hair off on the porch on Great Street. All my hair. When we were playing barber. We have pictures, we have evidence. We were playing barbershop. And how many of you any of you that were ever at our house saw that he stole my Kermit the Frog and hung it by a noose over his bed, and it was there for ever. It was there forever. Oh, you do? Does it still have the noose? Oh, nice. Okay. I guess we'll have to hang it somewhere. But I also told them about the time that I was too lazy to walk all the way to the high school. If you know where we live, you know why that's funny. To cheerleading practice one day, and I begged my brother to let me take his bike. And he said, after a while, I'm like, please just let me take your bike. I have to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to have to walk all the way. And he said, fine, take the bike. Just don't let anything happen to it. So I rode his bike to the high school for cheerleading practice, and I walked home. The next morning, I jolted out of bed because I remembered that I had left his bike. And so I got dressed and I ran down to the high school, and his bike was gone. So I came home and I'm crying, and I went to my bedroom and I grabbed a pillow and I went over and I knocked on his door and I held the pillow in front of my face, and I told him that I had left his bike and it was gone, and he hugged me. And he said it was okay. Fortunately, the village police thought Paul left his bike down at the school, so they had it down in the office. So. I told all sorts of stories in Napa to paint the picture of them, of who he was as a child, as a teenager, and as a big brother, because he was beautiful and complicated and easily amused and opinionated and stubborn and selfless. And I said to somebody earlier, he was kind, not always nice, but he was kind. He was my baked-in person, and I will always miss him. He literally knew me every day, every minute of my life, my entire life, until October 19th, 2025. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for him and for our lifetime of looking out for each other. And I can feel his arm draped around me right now. And I can see his smirk, and I can hear him giggle at all this fuss. And I hope that some of you will come up here and share your memories of Paul and tell more stories of shenanigans, and maybe together we can begin to fill the Paul-sized hole in the world with memories and the love that we have for him. So thank you all so much for being here.